Hi P8. So I'm going to try to make some math lessons, some video math lessons here for you. I already made a playlist when it comes to the decimals. So I already made a playlist of Khan Academy videos for you to take a look at that should help you with the work that I've given to you in your learning package. But I figured this would be a good way for you guys to see me as well and to have some stuff that I could teach you guys as well as the videos that you would see on Khan Academy. So this right here is place value. We've already done place value earlier in the year, but I figured I'd give you guys a nice refresher when it came to decimals and doing decimals. So this is some decimal place value. So we start off over here. I have this example of 31.2548. Now, these place values right here, the ones over here to the left side of the decimal, of the period, the decimal place. This is not decimal place value, but it's just good to start from here. So we know that the 3 is in the tens place value, and that represents 3 tens. And we know that the 1 right here is in the ones place value, and that represents that we have 1 ones. After that, this is when we start looking at decimal place value. So the first decimal here is 2, and this is in the tenths place value, the tenths place value. This represents 2 tenths. And then after that, to the right of that, we have 5. That is in hundredths place value. That's in the hundredths place value, and that represents 5 hundredths. And then after that, we have a 4. That is in the thousandths place value, and that represents 4 thousandths. And then finally, the last digit, the last number we have here in our example is 8. And this represents the place value 10 thousandths, which is 8 10 thousandths. This is how you would say this decimal. 31.2548. That's how you would say a decimal, and that is some decimal place value for you guys. In a bit, I'm going to show you guys also the fractions that have to do with these place values. So I've already shown you place value when it comes to decimals with this example 31.2548. I still have the names of each place value up on here, but I figured I might as well show you guys the fractions representation of the place value for each decimal place as well. Now, we know that decimals can be converted to fractions and fractions can be converted to decimals. You could use both to do the same thing. They're both the same number, just shown different ways. So here's one way that I can show you guys how a decimal looks like in a fraction. If we go to number 30 here, if we go to 30, the place value of 30, you can see that I just have 30 here. But this can also be represented as a fraction. We just don't normally write it as a fraction. We just normally write it as a 30 with a 3 and a 0. But really, there is a denominator underneath here that is a 1. But we don't normally write it like that because we don't need, that's just not a way that we normally write this. It's fine to just have just the 30, so we don't need the denominator underneath. Because we know 30 over 1 is the same thing as 30. Same thing goes with the ones place value over there, with the 1. We don't need to go 1 over 1, because we already know that 1 over 1 is 1. So we don't got to write that down. We just put 1 for the ones place value. But over here is when it gets a little bit different. When you have the tenths here, and I have a 2, the fraction is 2 over 10, or otherwise known as 2 tenths. 2 tenths, 2 over 10. And then the next one, it is 5 hundredths. You have the number, the word hundred, inside this place value. So it's 5 over 100, or 5 hundredths. And then you have the 4 thousandths. Well, you guessed this as well. The fraction for this is 4 over 1,000, or 4 thousandths. And then lastly, you have the 8 ten thousandths. Again, this gives it away, 10,000. So it's 8 over 10,000, or 8 ten thousandths. And that is another way of showing place value when it comes to decimals, only this time I'm showing it with fractions. All right? Hopefully that all made sense.